Welcome. So let's play Rule the Waves 3 as Germany starting in 1935. It's February 1948. We are in our 14th month of war against Britain and like 13 or 12th in our war with their ally France. It's going pretty well. We've had two back-to-back prestige victories. Hooray. And they put out tentative feelers with no reparations and no changes of borders. Of course, the change of border is problematic because we are blockaded still. There's a blockade advantage to being Britain versus Germany. And whilst you're blockaded, you can't invade anybody. And so with no colonies captured, there are no instant wins for us. I'd love to be able to catch Iceland, for example. That would be very sweet. So I'm not prepared to just give up now, even though everybody is hurting. If we have a look at the status, we can see that unrest in Germany has gone down to 5 and has stayed 5 because of those victories, which is great. So I'm carrying on with the two-pronged strategy that I mentioned last time, with the surface fleet keeping us in the war and gradually chipping away at the balance of power for blockade. If we go up here and don't do that and do this, you can see, I draw my zooming in, that we're nearly level pegging with Britain. I mean, there's a long way to go with France. We've got 2 battle cruisers and 2 heavy cruisers, plus a smattering of destroyers in repair. They'll be back out next month. So I'm minded to decline battles this time unless they're very, very attractive. Yes, I know, I said exactly the same last month, and then I accepted a convoy battle and it went really well, and the British lost a battleship. So if we have a look at the almanac, we can see that the British have no battleships now. Oh, sorry, they still have 1. But they're down to 3, and the French are down to 1 against my 4, not to mention 2 Italians and 2 Japanese. So capital ships were doing fine. They seem to have a bit better than me for carriers, although the Italians have a lot. But I'm less concerned with that. So normally I would be doing the end of year report, but I'm going to wait until this war is over because it feels like it should be over soon. Famous last words, obviously. And then we can have a big review of where we're at following the successful war and what do we need to do to take us through the last couple of years of the 1940s and into the early 1950s. So, because I'm just a bit concerned with the money. So we've got like 1,000 in construction, plus the submarines, and I would just like that to be a little bit less. So let's bring up a battle, a cruiser action. Our own forces are substantial. The enemy forces are light cruisers and carriers. So that's likely to be the French again. With Iceland being a French base. So let's see the exact intelligence report of what that's all going to be like. Because obviously that can, completely change my mind as to whether I engage or not. But the plan is to not engage. So we have 2 forces, the cruisers, the battle cruisers and a heavy cruiser, and then the Congo. All the way from Japan. Well, hello, Congo. Thanks for dropping by. And a couple of, 3, 4, 5 destroyer divisions, plus a couple of light cruisers as well. And then the carriers, we have 3, 4, 5, 3 light cruisers and 4 destroyer divisions. So, they do make it difficult, because that feels like everyone, pretty much, plus a special guest appearance from the Congo. And the estimated enemy forces is a carrier group. I mean, on the downside, there is light rain. So, there might be some weather that hampers air operations. But then that will be for the battlecruiser force to go in and do their stuff. All we have to do is inflict more damage on them than us. But then if I decline it, it's only 300 points, and there'll be other opportunities. I'm going to decline. I know this was an easy win, but I want to consolidate, because if I take some damage, then in the battlecruisers, then the battlecruisers are repairing will come back, but these will go. I'd love them to be all four, so I'm just going to decline that one. Convoy attack. Well, we all know I love a good convoy attack. But this is just cruisers and destroyers, so that's no penalty to decline. Intelligence, well, farewell to that. We're not doing that one. And that's it. So just a couple of submarines commissioned, which reminds me to go and move the new submarines that have joined the fleet. And a bit of intelligence, more radar countermeasures, which is great because we already have an electronic warfare advantage from last turn. Reduces enemy cap and AA effectiveness with specialist squadron aboard. I haven't got a specialist squadron, but perhaps that should be the next priority. Our new fighter, our last piston engine fighter, is ready for operational service. And then submarine loss 3, bit of minor battles. The British lost a heavy cruiser. That's sweet. And so yeah, they lost 2 submarines. We only lost 1. Okay, I misread those reports. So we now have 100. They're still blockading us. We've taken another 21 merchant ships off them. So actually, that's pretty good. We've now lost something like 56 U-boats. The Allies have lost 27. So, half of their submarine force is tiny. They've lost about 330 merchant ships. So our exchange ratio is 5.9. Let's call it 6 between friends. 6 U-boats. 6 merchant ships sunk for every U-boat, which is a pretty fair rate of exchange. I'm okay with that. So let's close that. Oil shortages in France, good to see. Here's the news. So Britain, optimistic as ever, building some new ships. Italians so comfortable they've scrapped an old heavy cruiser. So nothing else of great import there. Plenty of upgrading, some promotions, some further research stuff. We still have an edge in electronic warfare. Counterintelligence believes Spain has stolen technology. And yeah, I've developed improved model of float plane. Cutting edge. We've got our new fighter ready, and it's known as a mechanic's dream, so it's got great reliability, which is excellent. Sinkings of merchant ships, yep, that's great. Okay, so super happy with that. And by being patient and turning down some great battle opportunities, our monthly balance is now at 1,300. This lot's still annoyingly nearly but not quite ready, but at least that will help this funds figure, and more importantly means we're all ready for a proper fight now. So let's press turn, and don't really fancy a cruiser battle, but let's again, and nor do the French. A convoy battle. We love a good convoy battle. But not this one. Not with 2 destroyers. So that will be definitely a decline. Another cruiser battle. Nope, the French don't like that. Oh, and that was it. All right. So unanticipated consequence. I didn't realise that having all 4 battle cruisers all ready to go might mean that the French, and presumably the British, although the British seem to have receded into the background at the moment in this war, would be reluctant to fight a battle. Anyhow, we've commissioned 5 submarines. I said last month I was going to redeploy them and promptly forgot. Let's see if I can possibly remember now. Italy honours the alliance and joins the war against Britain. Hooray! So that's taken quite a long time to happen, so I'm pleased with that. New ASW, always welcome. Analysis of recent engagements has matched our electronic warfare capability. Well, that's a bit random since we haven't had a battle, but anyhow. And whoops! Oh dear. Naughty U-180. So we'll have to see what that does for the Americans. I mean, considering we've been on unrestricted warfare for 15 months, that's the very first serious one that we've suffered. And the second, oh dear, like buses. Some more submarines. And some more. Oh dear. Few destroyer losses of no consequence. And light cruisers and minor forces. So here we are. So we've lost 6 submarines that turn. So we're back down to 99. Otherwise fine. Chip and food shortages in Britain. The Italians join. Surely that will affect them a little bit more. So yeah, failing morale in the British fleet. So it's not the country, it's the actual fleet is suffering. Tricky. Our fleet morale, 0. I haven't really been paying attention to that, so I don't know if we've had higher or if 0 is your maximum or something. With all the victories we've been having, would feel like we should be having better morale, but perhaps I'm misunderstanding how that works. If you know, drop me a line in the comments. Otherwise, just builds and what have you. Britain has knowledge of multi-channel fire control. Sounds like a good thing to know. Reports that British have invented radar countermeasures. That's what has matched our electronic warfare a bit, which is a shame. And then just one. So, yep, let's close that. So, as long promised, let's have a look at these submarines. So, we only have 3 in West Africa. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the Caribbean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the Med. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in North America. So I'm just going to adjust those to bring them up to sort of 10s and see where that leaves us. Okay, I've moved 1 submarine to North America, 3 to the Mediterranean, 3 to the Caribbean, and 4 to West Africa, taking us up to 10 in North America, 10 in the Mediterranean, 10 in the Caribbean, and 7 in West Africa. If we have a little look at the map, which is something I probably should have done beforehand, let's see what's in the Caribbean, in West Africa, where it seems like we've had the worst losses. So yeah, nothing great, just a light cruiser and some planes. And in the Caribbean, just a few destroyers and nothing to frightened about. In America, ditto, just some destroyers. So it's a shame it doesn't tell you easily the ASW that you're up against. And obviously in the Med, I'm going to say obviously, but the French have no ships in the Mediterranean. The British have just 5. So, yeah. Great shame that we can't invade in the Mediterranean, even though, you know, we're not doing bad there at all. Never mind. Actually, just back on. Yeah. Now the British have exceeded the British. We have exceeded the British fleet in strength, but the French is still quite large, mainly because of all of its aircraft carriers. We have a look at tension: USA 5, China 5, Russia 9. So the sinking of those 2 passenger liners hasn't affected us too badly. Our monthly balance has gone down. Our construction, just a month away from starting to produce 1 a month. So that's great. And let's see if we can have a little battle. So, battleship engagement against Britain. So, yes, they've accepted. Expected forces, lots of carriers, and a battleship. Okay. And we are pretty much at full strength. Main force, carrier force, yeah, we're at full strength. It's fresh breeze, free range of forces. I wonder if I can get the Prince Eugen to move second linen. Oh, well, I seem to have buggered that up. It said move, and then it sort of disappeared, and I can't reassign it anywhere. Oh, that'll teach me to be too clever. Let's accept this, and then, yep, there are the minefields. Attack enemy ships. So, let's readjust that. This seems to be a thing. Let's just check the time. Sunset will be in 10 minutes. Oh dear. So let's just zoom ourselves out and see what's what. So this is the Graf Zeppelin. Hooray, hurrah. Okay, so this is the heavy cruisers, battle cruisers. So I'm going to put this onto AI just for now. And I'm not sure why that is independent. Attach it to Luca as support. That. What's... Okay, well, that's one of me as well. Slightly weirdly placed. And then if we go and have a look at the carriers, so I will subordinate these guys. And here are the light cruisers, so they can just carry on screening. That's fine. And yeah, no need to do air stuff particularly, because aside from nighttime cap, most of that isn't going to happen. Hard to plan, really. Might be that we just have to just keep out of the way in nighttime unless a fleet suddenly smashes into our battle cruisers, and to keep these chaps away. The wind is from the east, going ever so slightly northeast. Sighting is 27, but about to go down to 4,000, of course. Partly cloudy. Yeah. So let's just push it forward a little bit. Nighttime picking offs place. So nothing suddenly and immediately in our way. Run it 9 minutes at a time. Readying strike. Really? I've done that. Let me just check. Okay, it's the nighttime cap that they are doing, so that's fine. You ready away. Yeah. I don't know if I've actually got control over my direction, but if so, I probably want to go northeast. So yeah, that seems to be going okay. These guys are 18. These guys are 18. Fine. Ah, okay. So let's see that report. Reports. Okay, so here we have a report of a battleship and 3 destroyers. Maybe. Here we've got a report of a lone CVL. Doubt it. Here we have multiple reports of 2 CVs and 3 CVLs, 1 CV, 2 CVLs, 1 CV, 3 CVLs, a couple of light cruisers, each with reportedly 10, 14, 20 destroyers in that area. So that is something. Might be something, probably not, possibly something. We will see. But yeah, definitely something to target. So, if I launch a nighttime strike, feels... I mean, you know, this is 1948. It shouldn't be that hard, should it? I mean, they were doing this, you know, the British made a particular skill of nighttime carrier operations before the war. And you know, the Americans caught up during World War II and were having nighttime. So if I just do 1 carrier's worth, it's just coming up to 9 p.m. They will get onto target, which is about 200 miles away, at in a couple of hours, just before 11, and then land back just after midnight. If I do all of them, that doesn't change that at all. That's a bit surprising. Is that real? Ah, hadn't recalculated. So if I do all of them, now the time on target is 3 hours later. I mean, feels a great risk, but then also potentially a great prize. Presumably the British carriers, assuming they're British, don't have that many nighttime fighters. Yeah, we may take quite a lot of losses. So it's a bit of a gamble. So I'll use these 3 carriers and keep the other 2 carriers in reserve to see if anything else comes up. But I'm not going to coordinate them all 3 carriers, because a 3-hour delay, the enemy could be, you know, 60 miles away in a different place easily. So I'm going to do them carrier by carrier. But the other thing is I'm only going to send out good jet fighters and good dive bombers with some missiles. I'm not going to send out the fair jet fighters and the fair torpedo bombers on the assumption that they'll have significantly higher nighttime losses because their quality is less. With the Peter Stresser, they've got better quality. They're good, and veteran, so that's all right. And then finally, with the Graf Zeppelin, again, I'm going to exclude the torpedo bombers because they're only fair quality. So that's 3 lots of primarily dive bombers equipped with guided missiles, escorted by jet fighters, and one with a pile of torpedo bombers as well. So, good luck on all of that. And then let's just pop in here and see whether this is really anything. So I'm just going to ramp up the speed to 25 knots and head directly for that last report and press it forward a minute at a time, and boom, we have found some things. Excellent. I've just checked the carriers. They're 80 nautical miles away, so that's fine. Whereas this looks like it's a something. It looks like a destroyer screen and a nice juicy big ship that will regret bumping into 4 battlecruisers. So I'm just going to adjust some of the destroyer commands to make them night surface action capable. Okay, for some reason this light cruiser and its friends were going off, so I've asked it to perhaps reconsider that and come and join the fun. We'll take the Lucas up at 25. Just needs to go onto AI. All the destroyers are going into support and line ahead. The battlecruisers are at 25. The aircraft carriers are preparing a strike and are going to launch it at those reported carriers to the north. They're 80 miles away, so they're safe. And we're about coming up to 30 minutes into this video, so this seems like a good time to pause so that we can roll our sleeves up and fight a major nighttime radar gun-directed battle next time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.